Hello everyone, welcome to Friday's Appies. I'm here today to speak to you about binge eating. I'm sure many of us have binged at some point in time where we wanted just maybe one or two cookies and it lands up to maybe 5 or 8, maybe just a little handful of those chips, but turns into the fact that we've demolished the whole bag and wondering where they all went because we don't remember eating them. Binge eating can be a very mindless, mind-numbing act where we're really not consciously aware of what we're doing and how much we're eating. And also it can be a very frenzied act where we feel so compulsive and so driven to eat that we can't stop eating, and then we feel so powerless because of that. There's actually a correlation between binge eating and our emotions, our psyche, and our belief systems. And when we actually take that in totality around why we're not providing our body with the nutrition that it needs, it could be because of a number of factors. It can be because we've been too busy, we haven't bothered to stop to nourish ourselves. It can be because we've been so emotionally consumed and mentally consumed that we don't realize or haven't sensed that our body was hungry. It can be because our psyche is so unhealthy that there was a driven need for power and control. And it can also maybe be because we have resistance and fears around food, fears around eating, resistance to those healthy fats, carbs. And it can also be because there's a resistance to pleasure. But paradoxically, what happens, we end up eating and binging on the unhealthy foods and on the unhealthy fats and the sugars. And even when we become our bodies become nutrient out of balance, that we end up all skipping meals hasn't done it any favors, especially if your body type is one that needs meals. Leaving it to a big meal at the end of the day doesn't provide it with the balance that it's been looking for all day, and therefore a person will feel driven to continue eating again. We become our body's greatest nemesis, actually, when we are interfering in what it needs, how much it needs, and when. And we're the ones that actually put it out of balance. Our automatic response is to feed it when it demands it, because the body will be pushed past its patience. There's a breaking point there, and the body will then demand, and it'll scream for something, and we will provide it with something. We reach for something that's the most accessible, the easiest, the quickest, and it's usually with those synthetic fats, the sugars, and the unhealthy carbs. So this all compounds into continual binging because we just fed the cycle of the chemical imbalance within the body by giving it the unhealthy stuff. And therefore, because we continue the binge cycle, we continue controlling and trying to minimize what the body should be getting. We also then are battling weight, and we also have a battle with our appetite as well because we're not feeling satiated. Remember, the art of nourishment is about experiential system. It's a process. It's not a one size fits all. What works for you doesn't work for me, and etc. with everyone else. This is about finding what works and what doesn't. It's about taking the results and from your body's cues and the symbolic language of your body's responses and proceeding from there. The body will always need what it needs as long as we're being mindful about that and we're being mindful of the balance, and we will be supporting it the best way possible and avoiding any binge. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you next week on Friday's Appies.